بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تبارك وتعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. نسأل الله العزيز الغفار أن يجيرنا وإياكم من عذاب النار. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم، وبارك اللهم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He subhanahu wa ta'ala is generous with us, allowing us to reach the month of Ramadan, and we are around the middle of it already, subhanAllah. And this, it reminds us of a couple things before I go back to our main subject. The fact that, first of all, we have to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for yet again reaching another Ramadan, but also we have to be careful the fact that, subhanAllah, the time is going so quickly, and it is from human nature that we tend to settle into a new situation that we find ourselves in, and we get comfortable, and then we get lackadaisical, as they say. We fall in heedlessness. So just a reminder for myself and my brothers and sisters, if there are any sisters this morning, of the fact that, subhanAllah, this is around the time of the month of Ramadan where people relax a little bit, but we should take advantage of this time to actually pick up momentum, as the last 10 are coming very, very quickly, and we have to, this is where we have to buckle up, as they say, because subhanAllah, you blink and the opportunity is gone. And this is, as we always say, when Ramadan comes, there are many in our communities, being family members or the brothers and sisters that we know that have been with us in the previous Ramadan and are no longer with us in this particular Ramadan. So we treat it as the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in used to treat the month of Ramadan as if it was their last. And subhanAllah, they always, as I said before, and it's said every time that Ramadan comes around, that they used to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 6 months to allow them to reach the month of Ramadan. And then when they do their absolute best, and when Ramadan is over, they will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the next 6 months to accept from them. So we should try to imitate them as much as we possibly can. We continue, inshallah ta'ala, explanation of Ryaad Assalihin, and we're still in the bab niyyah, the intention, and with the tremendous hadith, and hadith number 6 of Sa'd ibn Waqqas radiallahu anhu. And subhanAllah, it's a tremendous hadith because we started with this hadith in the beginning of Ramadan, and we're still working on the explanation of it. But granted, the session is only 15 minutes, but still, subhanAllah, so much knowledge was extracted from this one hadith. فالنبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أوتي جوامع الكلم. Find, subhanAllah, that a hadith that a few words were said by the Prophet ﷺ, but so much knowledge can be taken from them. So one of the benefits من فوائد الحديث يعني أهمية الاستشارة كما ذكرت لكم البارحة, the importance of getting the opinion of people that know about the matter that you are conflicted about. So that's exactly what Sa'd radiallahu anhu did as the Prophet ﷺ came to visit him, and he asked, he said, إِنِّي ذُو مَالٍ كَثِيرٍ وَلَا يَرِثُنِي إِلَّا ابْنَةٌ لِي فَأَتَصَدَّقُ بِثُلُثَيْ مَالٍ. He sees the opportunity. The Prophet ﷺ, the most knowledgeable, was with him, and he asked the question, I have a lot of wealth and I only have one daughter. Should I give? Because he Sa'd, granted to remind you, in this particular hadith, it was in Hajjatul Wada, and Sa'd was ill, and he was basically almost on the verge of dying. He did not die in this particular incident, but that's what he felt like. So he wanted to give the majority of his wealth for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we tackled this part of it, but the benefit that it is important to ask people of knowledge about your matters. When it comes to the matters of your deen, there could be things in this religion that, as part of your worship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or it has to do with any kind of transactions that you do on a daily basis, that you see as a person that there's no harm in them, but it's always important to go back to the people of knowledge to find out that what you do is sound. It is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made permissible and is in accordance with the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this, when it comes to buying or selling properties or whatever it is, you see what is the hukm of your particular transaction that you're about to the one that you're about to do. And when it comes to other matters, for example, someone wants to buy a house or someone wants to buy a car, then you go to people that understand, that have knowledge in this particular area, to do istishara, to ask their opinion. لذلك يقال ما خاب من استخار وما ندم من استشار. But the proper order that a person should have is first of all to do istishara, then to do istikhara. So you go to the people that have knowledge in that particular area and ask their opinion, and make sure that you're making an informed decision about whatever the matter is. Then you, in Allah Azza wa Jal, يقول فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون. This, and ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. But the people of knowledge here, it's kind of broad. First of all, people of knowledge in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then people of knowledge in whatever area that you intend to undergo or undertake, whatever the matter is. Then you do istikhara, and you do it, first of all, not because you're supposed to see a dream afterwards, or see some kind of vision that will let you know what you're supposed to do, or someone will come to you in your dream, because this is what most people think. I did istikhara, but I did not see anything. Well, you're not necessarily supposed to see anything. You might, Allahu A'lam, but in general, that's not what is supposed to happen. You are doing istikhara, first of all, out of courtesy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you are dealing with the one that knows all of the unseen. الذي يعلم ما تؤول إليه الأمور سبحانه وتعالى. So this is a courtesy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the fact that you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أن يرشدك لما فيه الخير كان في ذلك خير لك أو يصرفه عنك ويصرفك عنه. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to either make it happen if it's something good for you, or to do the opposite, to remove it from you or get it away from you if it's not something that is good for you. But the hadith anyways of istikhara جاء في البخاري وعند أبي داود وغيرهم حديث جابر رضي الله عنه قال، واسمعوا هذه الجزئية والله جميلة من جابر رضي الله عنه قال: كان النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يعلمنا الاستخارة في الأمور كلها كالسورة من القرآن. Yes, and can you imagine? The Prophet ﷺ will teach us istikhara in all of our matters as he will teach us the surah in the Quran. So basically you just bring someone and make him sit next to you and you say, okay, repeat after me. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Al-Fatiha. The same way you will teach the Sahaba to do istikhara. That's why they did istikhara and everything. Anything that, any kind of decision they want to, even if they want to buy a shoe, a pair of shoes, they will make istikhara like this, subhanAllah. Small, whether small or big. So he said that he would teach us al-istikhara, just like he would teach us the ayah from the Quran. ثم قال وهذا قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الحديث إذا هم بالأمر فليركع ركعتين ثم يقول وفي رواية في غير الفريضة فليركع ركعتين. So if you're conflicted about something, then do 2 rak'ahs. You pray 2 rak'ahs. ويقول اللهم إني أستخيرك بعلمك واستقدرك بقدرتك وأسألك من فضلك العظيم فإنك تقدر ولا أقدر وتعلم ولا أعلم وأنت علام الغيوب. اللهم إن كنت تعلم أن هذا الأمر خير لي في ديني ومعاشي وعاقبة أمري وقال في عاجل أمري وآجله فاقدره لي وإن كنت تعلم أن هذا الأمر شر لي في ديني ومعاشي وعاقبة أمري وقال في عاجل أمري وآجله فاصرفه عني واصرفني عنه واقدر لي الخير حيث كان ثم ردني به ويسمي حاجته من هذا الأمر كذا وكذا. سبحان الله. والله يعني tremendous courtesy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to say the least, when you make this beautiful dua. Jabir radiallahu anhu said that after he said that the Prophet would teach us al-istikhara just like he would teach us the ayah from the Quran. He said that the Prophet said that if you are conflicted about something, then you pray 2 rak'ahs and you say at the end when you finish the salah, you make the following dua. And I'll translate the dua. Oh Allah, I consult you through your knowledge and I seek strength through your power, and I ask you for your great bounty. Already there, subhanAllah, look how much weight this has. For you are capable, while I'm not, and you know and I know not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala is the one that knows all of the unseen, and His knowledge is perfect, but our knowledge is always going to be lacking, so we're always going to come up short. So Allah Ta'ala said it many times in the Quran, وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you think you have some knowledge, what Allah is telling you, Allah knows, and you basically don't know anything. You know not, as it is translated in most of the translations, but basically, whatever knowledge you think you have is nothing compared to the knowledge of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. As Al-Khidr radiallahu anhu, alayhi salam, said to Musa alayhi salam, when they were on the boat, and the bird came and put his beak in the water, and then he said, see your knowledge and my knowledge and the knowledge of all the people compared to the knowledge of Allah is like the kind of the water that the bird got from the sea compared to the rest of the sea or the ocean. It cannot possibly be compared. So you speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you know and I do not know, and you are the one who knows all of the unseen. Oh Allah, you know that this matter, and you name the matter, subhanAllah. And some people tell Allah ta'ala knows it, but the Prophet told you to name it, just name it. So if you know this matter is good for me, in respect of my deen, and my livelihood, and consequences of my affairs, or he said the sooner and the later of my affairs, then ordain it for me, make it easy for me and bless it for me. But if you know that this matter, and you name it again, is bad for my deen, my livelihood, and the consequences of my affairs, or he said the sooner and the later of my affairs, then turn it away from me, and turn me away from it, and grant me power to do good, whatever it may be, and cause me to be content with it, subhanAllah. And not only give me an alternative, oh Allah, but whatever the alternative that you see fit for me, subhanAllah, make me from the ones that are content to to be content with it, subhanAllah. And a tremendous courtesy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like I said, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they would do that if they want to buy shoes or buy anything in the smallest object, and they will do that as well when it comes to, for example, them marrying their daughters off, or marrying a woman, whether small or bigger or more important affairs, they will do istikhara out of courtesy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like I said, it's not necessarily, you will not necessarily be able to see something, but subhanAllah, you will know that you have the protection and the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after doing this dua in whatever the matter is. Allah might show you something, give you a sign, make your chest or your heart open up for one particular option of the options that you have. Allahu a'lam. But subhanAllah, nevertheless, a person should always do istikhara in these matters, in any matters that he intends to undertake. And we have to understand, ya ikhwah, whoever thinks that he's got all these things figured out and he understands everything, then he's got to go back to the drawing board, as they say, because he has a lot of things to, subhanAllah. Whoever thinks that he knows everything has just fallen in ignorance about everything. This is something that the scholars of this ummah understood clearly. That the more you learn, the more knowledge you acquire, the more you realize that you are ignorant. This is human nature, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said when He talked about this amana, the amana of التوحيد. إن عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا. Where Allah Ta'ala says, we have presented the amana. And the amana, there's no bigger amana than the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have presented the trust to the heavens and the earth and the mountains. And they refused to undertake it, and they were afraid of it. And the son of Adam undertook it. Verily he is ظلوم جهول. And this is على وزن فعول, على وزن المبالغة, صيغة المبالغة. And he is in a constant state of oppression of himself and others, and a constant state of ignorance, subhanAllah. But the only thing that will lift us and get us away from the state of ignorance and the state of oppression is undertaking it and taking the amana properly. To subhanAllah, uphold the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the reason that we were created. As the Prophet ﷺ said to Mu'adh in the tremendous hadith of Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, قال كنت رديف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم على حمار يقال له عفير ليس بيني وبين النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلا مؤخرة الرحل فقال لي يا معاذ بن جبل قلت لبيك يا رسول الله وسعديك قال أتدري ما حق الله على العباد قال قلت الله ورسوله أعلم قال أن يعبدوه ولا يشركوا به شيئا قال ثم سرنا ساعة فقال لي يا معاذ بن جبل تدري ما حق العباد على الله إنهم فعلوا ذلك قال قلت الله ورسوله أعلم قال أن لا يعذبهم. The Prophet ﷺ said to Mu'adh as they were riding together and Mu'adh is describing this, I was riding behind the Prophet ﷺ on a donkey by the name of Ufayr. The only separation between myself and the Prophet ﷺ is the rear of the saddle. He said to me, Ya Mu'adh ibn Jabal, I said, here I am, O Messenger of Allah, that the Baykah Rasulullah Sa'adayka, this is the proper way that Sahaba used to respond to the call of the Prophet ﷺ, as they responded to the call of Allah in Umrah and Hajj. And Baykah Rasulullah, of course, they cannot be equated, but this is the proper way that the Sahaba used. So after he responded, he said, do you know what is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over His servants? He said, Allah and His Messenger know best. He said, for them to worship Him and not take any partners with Him in worship. He said, then we rode for a little while, and this is a methodology that the Prophet ﷺ used with the young Sahaba, like Mu'adh and Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar and others. that he will put some tashweeq when he is teaching them, and he will keep them in suspense. Like he told Ibn Abbas, Ya ghulam, or Ya ghulayy, inni u'allimuka kalimatin, ihfadillah yahfadh. A young boy, I will teach you some words. But he will say, I will teach you some words, and he let him wait for a few minutes or about an hour, alhamdulillah. And he let him wait, so that person he's so eager to receive the information. He said we rode for a little while, going back to the hadith of Mu'ad. He said, Ya Mu'ad ibn Jabal. He said, then I responded to the Prophet ﷺ, here I am, Messenger of Allah. He said, do you know what is the right of the servants if they do fulfill that? If they do fulfill the tawheed, he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not punish them. So whoever fulfills this amana and upholds the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala مع الإخلاص والمتابعة, with sincerity to Allah while following the footsteps of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then there's a good chance Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be merciful with that person on the day of reckoning. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show you and I mercy in this life and in the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you and I from the true followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم.